Hey there everyone, and welcome back to The Disconnected. My name is Ryan, and we are at the end of 2021, which means it is time for everybody to gear up the best of list for the entire year. I've been sharing some of my opinions over on our other channel, Discovering Cinema. The link for that show is in the description below. Please subscribe if you'd like. I do a show every Tuesday night live with my friend Flip, and we go over a lot of this type of stuff, and I think you'd enjoy it. The list I'm going into tonight is one that I've previously gone over in one of those shows, but I understand that not everybody watches those shows. So this is a great time to share that opinion with the rest of the channel. And in this video, we're going to be going over best studio 4K releases for all of 2021. Now, this does not mean I am necessarily saying these are the best films. I'm saying that these are, in my opinion, the best 4K releases by studios in 2021 specifically. You may notice that a lot of these are not modern films, and that's because some of the older films can really shine in 4K. They bring out the depth of the film and show what the film could really have potential to look like back when it was shot. And now we're finally able to see that in glorious 4K with HDR in 2021. So let's get into those. So coming in at number 5 is a Clockwork Orange. Obviously, this is a Kubrick, and that means it's going to look incredible no matter what, basically. But the 4K really does make it shine. It looks wonderful. The color looks great. The resolution is top-notch. It is something that was made for this format, and obviously, the movie is great too, so that helps. But it is really presented in the best possible way for this film, and I am so glad that they are putting the time and energy into doing his films the justice that they deserve. But in all reality, it's a Kubrick. It was always going to look great. My number 4 is a UK release, but this also came out in the States, and it's the exact same disc, so no need to worry about that. That is John Carpenter's The Thing. This was a direct release from Universal. This was made to look like the Studio Canal releases of the other John Carpenter 4K releases that came out just a couple of years ago. And this movie is, as you can see, one of my favorite movies of all time, but it looks just incredible. This is a movie that has always been sort of dirty and very, very hard to tell what some of the details are, and this really brings them out. Obviously, they're in the middle of the snow, and the HDR does some good work, but the real shining factor here is that you can see details that you were not able to see since, it was presented in theaters in the 80s, and it looks fantastic. This release is stupendous overall, but genuinely, the 4K disc for this legitimately just shines, and I understand that this has been getting more love over the last, decade as being one of the best all-time movies, but in all reality, this is one of the best all-time movies. I really wish people had seen the merits of this release when it first came out, but this one, genuinely just top-notch. Please give it the time of day. My number 3 is a fairly modern film, and that is Super 8 in 4K. This is the Best Buy Steelbook, and overall this movie looks really good. Obviously, with who directed this, it was going to have a lot of lens flare and a lot of HDR color flares, basically, that shine through with this, and that all looks great. But where this really shines is in the depth of the way that they present some of these shots. Primarily, the train scene in the beginning of this film looks just jaw-dropping. I'm honestly shocked that it looks as good as it does. There are some bits of CGI in there, obviously, that are not quite as good as the rest, but the stuff that is done practically and is shot in true 4K, it looks great. This is one of the best presentations of the year, obviously, and if you haven't seen it, Super 8 in 4K, definitely worth it, in my opinion. At number 2 on my list is by far the most modern film on any of my list, I believe, and that is 2021's The Green Knight in 4K. This is released by A24, and to be honest, no matter what this looked like in 4K, it was going to look great. This film is essentially just a true work of art, and I can't really state that enough. It is beautifully shot. There are a lot of flaws in the film. I genuinely really liked it, but I also think that a lot of it does come off as sort of pretentious and art house for art house sake. And that's not always great and not always entertaining, but this is a movie that is made for certain types of people, and I ate it up like candy. If you are just wanting to see something beautiful, This is a really great choice for that, and this one is very cheap. I mean, this has already been on sale for less than 10 bucks. Beyond worth it. Super great release of this one in 4K. All right, here we are. My number one studio 4K release of the year is a big boy, and that is Columbia Classics Volume 2 4K Collection. This is a release. This is all of the information on the back here of the J card. Just to let you know what's in it, we have Anatomy of a Murder, Oliver, Taxi Driver, Stripes, Sense and Sensibility, and The Social Network. In my opinion, Taxi Driver is really where this shines. Oliver also looks really surprisingly great. Stripes is probably the weakest of the bunch in my opinion, but just overall really wonderful release. And this one is something of an anomaly because Sony puts more love and care in their 4K transfers than pretty much any other studio, and these look just jaw-droppingly great compared to some of the others. This is the way to get 6 films all at once, obviously. This is still on sale, but Volume 1 went away very quickly, so this could go out of print at any notice. If you do want this, I will have a link for it in the description below, but this is genuinely like one of the best things to come out of 2021. Overall, this box set is just amazing. If you don't have it and you are interested in any of those 6 films, this is worth it. And keep in mind, not all those films are getting standalone releases, so if you want them in 4K, this might be the only way to get them. I imagine some of the big ones like Taxi Driver might come out on its own on 4K, and some of the others probably not. You know, I think that we would be hard-pressed to get an Oliver 4K by itself, in my opinion, but really great box set. I hope more people are checking this out because it is incredible. And there you have it, my top choices of Studio 4K releases of the year. If you enjoyed this, please give a like below. If you never have, please subscribe. My channel does a lot of things like this, and I do a lot of guides, a lot of countdown videos, a lot of just passing along information that I think might be helpful to people. And if you can, share with a friend. This is the exact type of video that does really well sharing with people because they can get an overall feel for the channel. And as you can see, the taste is quite varied. I watch a lot of different types of films, and all I hope that I can do is share some of my knowledge with all of you. So give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, share with your friends, and all that being said, as I always close these out with, from one collector to all of you, have a good night.